Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Aries. So Aries, as usual, I'm doing this reading with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you'll see are from this deck. But before I jump into your message today, I just want to say thank you to all of you who sent me messages of just well wishes, both for Christmas and for my health. Thank you truly. I truly hope that all of you had an amazing Christmas time. Also, just as a reminder, so that I don't forget, because I didn't really make a video on this, and I wanted to say thank you to all of you who have, been following me and are here in this beautiful community, just watching the readings and receiving the guidance from the cards throughout this entire year and even previous to that. Thank you so much. As my Christmas gift for you, as I put on the community tab, I have created a promo code, a discount code for the extended readings over on Vimeo, all the way to when I started posting there, so all the way to September 2022. So if you want to check those readings, you have this 55% off discount code. So if you want to purchase from November 2023 all the way to December 2022, just use the code thank you when you go for your reading, or you can either purchase or rent. It's going to work for both. And if you want to purchase older readings from September, October, and November 2022, just use the code thank you 2023. And then you can activate your discount, your gift, as a way for me to just express my gratitude for all of you. This entire year, it's been a revolutionary year in my life, as the previous ones, but yeah, there's something different about this year. And it's interesting because I wish I could say that I have a more clear vision about 2024. I spoke about this with close friends and my family, and it's really something that is it's just bothering me, because sometimes I do have like this clear vision of my future, and other times, just like right now, it seems like it's all so foggy. And it's interesting because I feel like this is what is showing up here in the Aries reading. So now on to the reading. The message that I'm seeing here for you today, Aries, has to do with wanting to find clarity, wanting to find a clear direction forward. But it seems like this direction is bringing a lot of baggage from the past. And so I feel like maybe you're feeling a little bit numb, a little bit out of sorts, but not, it's like you're still functioning, you're still doing things, on a regular basis. Your everyday life is taken care of. That seems to be, very balanced in a way. But that you carry this wound inside, that you carry this hurt or this pain. And I feel like it's something like very, very old from your childhood, perhaps, or even, from previous lives. And I feel like the way that you have dealt with that in the past, and perhaps still accompanies you to this day, is just encapsulating that trauma, that fear, that question, that hurt, that memory, that thought. And I feel like that really, it's like you're just going by your day, living the best life that you can, trying to find harmony and balance in your day-to-day life. But that there is this magical quality to life that you are not yet experiencing. And there is this desire. And I want to say it's almost like this, well, if not unconscious desire, it's like it really it's starting to become more and more important and significant for you, right? That you want this magical life. And why can you find that clear magic in your path moving forward? So we're beginning with the Ace of Swords. Here is the card that represents this clarity and this vision of where to go, right? This clear direction forward. But the way that I was feeling this card was almost like something poking behind my back. So, you know, when you're kind of like being pushed to do something or to go in a certain direction, but you wish you didn't have to go in that direction. And it's interesting because, you know, if it starts with one arrow, with one sword, with one thing, right, with one itch, in a sense, it's more than just an itch, right? It's something that it's like the lack of clarity is starting to poke on you, right? It's like this, it's almost like you're questioning yourself whether or not you should continue on pursuing that direction, right? Because it is starting to become unclear to you. Because the Eight of Swords coming next, this is almost like something that started as like just one thing, right? It quickly becomes like this convoluted thing, right? It's like this, it's like one issue multiplies and become like this cloud, right? So if here it was just like this fog, here it's like this dense, heavy cloud following you. And I feel like this is because it's like maybe you are settling for unclarity. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's almost like you're accepting not to have clarity, or you're accepting not to have peace of mind, perhaps. The Six of Pentacles coming next, this was talking about your everyday life. Your everyday life feels like things are on board, or things are, it's like you have control over the practical things in a sense, right? It's like, because sometimes I see the Eight of Pentacles as a train track. So it's almost like you're moving along throughout your day, throughout your life, in a way that things are not as convoluted as they seem to be in your perceptual field or in your mind, right? Or as I said, because of this poking at your back, it's like there is something that it's uncomfortable, right? It's not like this restless leg syndrome, but it's almost like being it's like being pushed or being forced to go in a certain direction, because I want to say the Six of Pentacles is almost like your external life. It's not really reflecting the chaos that is in your mind, right? So it's like quickly this one issue in your mind becomes like this terrible thing, right? This very dark cloud that is following you. But outwardly, it's not really visible. It's not really seen. It's like things are seemingly balanced, right? So it's almost like having this you don't understand why in your mind you have this perception that things are crumbling, that things are not clear at all, and yet on the outside things are put together, right? It's like things are not crumbling, things are working, things are fine. But you know underneath it all that something is not right, right? Because you wish you had this clear direction forward. And it seems like the more that you pursue on this path, it's like the more uncomfortable it is, because there is like this dissonance in a sense between what you're feeling inside. Maybe you're feeling trapped in a very perfect life, let's say. It's like it's like externally things are okay, things are falling into place, things are working, things are apparently harmonious, but inside of you, it's like you feel it's like maybe you feel like you're trapped in your own reality, or you're trapped in your own routine, right? It's like you have been following this path for so long that it's like you don't know how to not be on track, right? It's like for you, this is what life is, right? It's like this, it's like it's very predictable, right? It's like you know how things are going to flow in a sense, right? Because it's very expected. But the reason why I'm saying that there is this discomfort that is building up is because I feel like this goes way back, Aries, the Page of Cups and the Three of Swords. So the Three of Swords is wanting to remind you in a sense that what is coming back here as this lack of clarity is because very early on, I want to say, it's like in a time when you are supposed to see magic, when you are supposed to be, you know, very light and very playful and very fresh and very raw and very spontaneous, it's like you've had maybe a trauma, or you've had like this it's like this heartbreaking experience. It's how it's coming through, right? And it's almost like maybe at this time in your life you were supposed to trust your heart, but it's like you suffered in a sense a trauma that it really polluted your trust in your heart. And so whenever that's the reason why I'm feeling like this. It's like the poking, right? It's right in this area, but it's not in front of the heart. It's almost like coming from behind. So it's almost like there is this maybe you've had like your heart broken, you know, very early on, and you don't even remember that. That is how unclear things are for you, right? It's like if you want to recall that memory, it's like it's all foggy, right? It's like you know that there is something poking on your back, you know that there is something that is, you know, coming from behind, but it's almost like you don't know. You can look back and see you don't have clarity, and therefore, because you don't have clarity about something that happened in the past, and I'm getting goosebumps, it's like you cannot have clarity to proceed forward. You see what I mean? So you know that there is this wound, because this was talking about childhood trauma, childhood wound, right? It's like your inner child is carrying this unclear vision, maybe this lack of trust in your own heart, in your own spontaneity, in your own magic, right? Because the magic is coming here encapsulated, the Seven of Swords with the Magician. So I feel like whatever has really wounded you a long time ago, it's left a mark that the way that you learn how to cope with it, because whenever I see the Seven of Swords, I see like this encapsulation of something that perhaps was, you know, uncomfortable, right? This poking on your back, like this, it's like this very sharp knife, right? It's almost like you have this wound, this fresh wound, but it's like the more you expose it, the more, it's like the more unclear you are, the bigger it gets, right? And that's the reason why the Eight of Swords was following. It's like, you know that that is something that you haven't really healed from. But what it affects really, Aries, is your, maybe it's your manifestation skills, your abilities to see how you can manifest like a magical life for yourself. Because it's almost like the sense that I'm having from these two cards, Aries. And, you know, just a side note to all of this, when I saw the message here, I almost, you know, put the cards back and reshuffled to see if a more hopeful message would come. But sometimes, you know, and I've learned this from past readings, and, you know, whenever there is like this uncomfortable message, which leaves me uncomfortable to translate it, I always question if this is my own judgment or if this is really something that I should pass on, right? Because yes, it is uncomfortable to, you know, go through these traumas and all of that, but there is this affirmation, I want to say, that whatever has been encapsulated, right? Maybe the fear of dealing with something that you didn't know how to deal back then. It's like and I'm saying this for myself as well, right? The moments that I had to confront readings that were uncomfortable for me, just like this one, because I always want to, pass on messages that are uplifting and hopeful and loving and kind and all of that. But life is not like this expected path, right? And maybe the more that we expect to be on this apparently, predictable, harmonious path, right? And harmonious here, I want to put, it's not really harmonious, right? If it's affecting your mind, if it's affecting even like your mental health, it's like, that that's not healthy. So how are you going to proceed forward knowing that it's not, right? And so the magician, right? This magician is wanting to tell you something. Just a second. Sorry about that. So going back to the magician with the Seven of Swords, coming from this trauma. The Seven of Swords here, as I was saying, is this way of coping with something that, back then you didn't know how to deal with, right? Whenever I see this magician upright, I see some sort of hidden secret or hidden magic. I feel like this is not, there is hope in here. The way that I want to describe what I'm seeing is like, yes, there is this lack of clarity. There is this fog that perhaps is, becoming this dark cloud that seems to be following you, for quite some time. And even if things are apparently normal in your everyday life, it's like, that you carry this wound, this lack of clarity, this lack of trust, this lack of magic since, a very early age. And that, it's almost like that really removes your possibility of maybe manifesting a life that you want. But it's like, if you encapsulated this, it's almost like you are the one, maybe that's the sensation that I was feeling, right? It's like poking on your back. It's like, maybe you're the one who has to, it's like, because the way that I'm seeing this, it's like this cloud, it's like this bubble, right? It's like you have to poke it yourself so that the magician can reveal whatever has been hidden from you. It's not like you don't have access to what the magician is holding inside this hat. It's just that whatever, it's like the key to have clarity and this clear direction forward, or even clarity in your vision. It's almost like you have to dare to confront something that is uncomfortable, because it's like the moment that you poke this bubble that was encapsulating this fear, it's like it's going to be out in the open. But the same way that this hurt, this pain is going to be out in the open, this child is going to come back to life in a sense, right? Because it's like the magic will be unlocked, the magic will be revealed. That's how I'm sensing this. And I know that it's almost like there is this inherent fear, right? It's like, if you have dealt in a seemingly very controlled and very balanced way throughout your life, keeping this hidden, yes, it's almost like the same effect goes for the magic, right? The more you encapsulate this trauma, right, it's like the less you can see. But it's like, but you have been trusting what is expected. You have been trusting what is predictable, right? So it's almost like, if on the outside things are doing fine, why should I mess with this, right? If I have, unconsciously or consciously worked for this, like, just to control what is sharp, right? But here it is, it's like, if it's starting with the Ace of Swords, it's already out in the open. And that's what I feel like you haven't really realized yet, Aries. It's like, the magician is already wanting to make you see that magic is possible, right? That magic can be revealed, can actually, it's wanting to be described as like magic wanting to return to you, right? A magical life, a life where you can feel the magic, because it's like you haven't, right? You haven't been feeling the magic, but things are already out in the open. It's almost like you feel like you have this under control, because outwardly it feels like everything is still under control. But what you cannot see because of this lack of clarity is that this has been already poked, right? It's like what you have encapsulated is already out there. So it's almost like it's kind of like in the hands of the magician, right? It's like you have to trust the magic before you can see the magic, because right now it's all convoluted and you cannot discern, right? So it's almost like you have to trust even in what you cannot see. And I know that this feels very vague, feels very generic, but it's almost like, in order not to overwhelm you more, right? It's like, allow this bubble to disappear, allow this coping mechanism to be extinguished in a sense, right? I truly hope that this was helpful. I know that this was unclear, at least to me. It's a little bit unclear. Hopefully, if you resonated with this, then it will make more sense for you. And I hope it is helpful in any way possible. I am going to pull more cards to see where this wants to go. And also I'm going to pull from the astrological runes in the extended reading. So if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. You can find the link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.